So, let's talk about something that goes way beyond just the code. We're diving into what can honestly make or break your Python interview, how you communicate, and the confidence you show. It's so often the deciding factor, so let's get right into it.
Look, you've put in the hours, right? You've gone through all the tutorials, you've read the docs, and you've definitely wrestled with the syntax. You've done the hard work of actually learning the language.
And I'm sure you spent plenty of late nights on platforms like LeetCode or HackerRank, just grinding through problems, trying to make your code more efficient, and learning all those common patterns. That's a massive step.
And maybe the biggest thing of all, you've actually applied it. You didn't just stay in theory land. You took an idea and you built something real. That lead from just learning to actually creating is absolutely crucial.
But here's the real question. Because you see, interviews aren't just about whether your code runs. They're about how you think, how you communicate your ideas, and how you handle a bit of pressure. Your behavior can absolutely be the thing that tips the scales.
Okay, so let's start with the positives. Let's build a playbook for how to show up as a confident, capable candidate. These are the things you should absolutely be focused on doing.
And really, it all kind of boils down to 5 key actions. Now, these are simple, but they are so powerful. They can completely change the vibe of your interview, from just revising your fundamentals all the way to, the art of staying calm when you eventually get stuck.
First things first, you gotta know your fundamentals cold. This isn't about memorizing super complex algorithms. It's about being so comfortable with the basics, like data types, lists, loops, that you don't even have to waste mental energy on them. When your basics are strong, that's where true confidence comes from.
Now this might be the single most important habit to build. In a coding interview, silence is your enemy. Seriously, the interviewer can't read your mind, so you've got to narrate what's going on in your head, even if it's simple stuff like, okay, first I'm going to check the input, or, a loop feels like the right tool here. They're there to evaluate your thinking, not just the final code.
This one is a huge sign of maturity. Asking questions is not a sign of weakness, it's the sign of a professional. Before you even write a single line of code, you have to make sure you totally get the problem. It shows you're thoughtful and you don't just jump into a solution without a plan.
Especially when you're starting out, your projects are your superpower. They are the proof that you can actually build things. So you need to be ready to talk about them. Don't just say what it does. Explain why you built it. Talk about the tough problems you solved and what you learned doing it. This is your story, so tell it well.
And finally, you are going to get stuck. It happens to literally everyone. The test isn't if you get stuck, it's how you react when you get stuck. Just take a breath. It's totally okay to pause and say, that's a good question. Let me just think about an approach for a moment. Your composure is a form of competence.
All right, we've covered the playbook of what to do. Now let's talk about the traps, the common mistakes that can totally derail an otherwise great interview. Avoiding these is just as important as doing the right things.
And here it is, the biggest trap of all, faking it. Never, ever pretend to know something you don't. It is an instant red flag for any interviewer. It is so much better to just be honest. Saying something like, I haven't worked with that yet, but I'm really interested in learning, shows a growth mindset, and it builds trust. Faking it, that just destroys trust instantly.
And here are a few more quick-fire traps to avoid. Don't just memorize answers. They want to see how you think, not what you've memorized. Don't freak out over a small typo. It happens to everyone. Make sure you listen fully before you start talking, and maybe most importantly, just focus on your own journey. This is all about your progress, not about being perfect.
When you boil it all down, all the do's, all the don'ts, it really just comes down to your mindset. It's about combining smart preparation with the right perspective. So let's wrap up by focusing on how to get into that winning frame of mind.
Look, simple preparation is the best way to reduce stress. On the day of your interview, have a little checklist. This isn't about cramming at the last minute. It's just about making sure all the little things are handled so you can focus. Test your tech, have your stuff ready, and right before you join that call, just take one deep breath.
So, want to know a little secret? Let's pull back the curtain on what interviewers are actually looking for. It's probably not what you think. They don't expect you to be perfect. They're looking for a solid grip on the basics, a logical way of thinking, honest and clear communication, and a real desire to learn and grow. That's pretty much it.
If you take only one single thing away from this explainer, please let it be this. You are not there to win a battle. You're not there to prove you're the smartest person on the planet. You're there to have a collaborative conversation and show them how you approach problems. Reframing it like that, well, it changes everything.
So I'll leave you with a question to think about. Based on everything we've just covered, what is the one small shift in your mindset that you can make for your very next interview? Because that one little change just might be the thing that makes all the difference.